Hello everyone, I'm Bets Golden. Welcome back to the Gel Press channel. I am so excited to be here today. I'm actually going to share with you a technique that I literally learned watching someone else's Instagram feed, and I was so fascinated by it because though I have worked with alcohol ink before on a gel press, I had never done it quite like this. And so there's a trick that this artist did that made all the difference in the world. And so I watched it a few times and I thought, I would like to learn how to do that and share it with you. So here I am. Now, I have a small confession to make. I did go ahead and film this video before, and I ended up not liking it as much, so I am doing it again because I learned even more. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking some alcohol ink and I'm placing it all over this 6x6 gel press. And I am working on a really wonderful acrylic type platform. And it's really great for taking your gel press and taking them to a project. So you can almost use it like a stamp. It's really good for art journaling. Now, for the sake of this video, I am just using it to kind of keep this on the background down. And the glare kind of helps with the glare not be so bad as if I were to just have my black mat, or so I think. I could be wrong. All right, so I just spread that out all over, and then I'm just going to take my brayer and I'm just going to kind of tap it through like so. Just tapping it through like that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take bubble wrap. Now, the first time I did this, I had my bubble wrap, all the bubbles were pretty well inflated, so I wanted a little bit more texture, so I just took it and I scrunched it up and I squeezed it, and it popped a few, and I'm hoping that this is really going to turn out being pretty cool. Then I'm going to push this down like so, smoosh it in really well, and let it dry completely. It's going to dry completely. So I'm just smooshing that in. And as that smooshes in, I'm going to take over here and do the same thing again with a couple different colors. And the colors that I used on this one were the boysenberry, fiesta, sailboat blue, and gumball. I will have all of these listed for you down below, just so you can have it for your convenience if you are interested in that. And then from here, I do want to just, if this is still wet, I want to rub it off, but it's going to stain because it's alcohol ink, and it may transfer a little when I go over on this one, and I think I'm going to be okay with that. We'll see. So for this one, I want to do the same technique, but I want to go ahead and use this stencil. So this is the 5x7 plate. This is the 6x6 plate, and I will have those listed for you down below as well, for your convenience. And if you haven't, I'm just going to take this moment to invite you to follow the Gel Press channel if you haven't done so already. There's lots of wonderful crafters over here that, oh, so many great ideas. I'm such a novice compared to everyone over here, so I encourage you to definitely stick around and check out all of the amazing creators that are here with you. Also, check out the Gel Press Instagram account. Really great inspiration there as well. And then, of course, if you head over to the website, really fun stuff there too. So I'm just gonna put this one down. Now this has a little bit of a, this is oh wait, nope, that's not this one I just used. I'll tell you the colors when I'm done as this kind of sets up and dries. I am using the pearls on this. I just want to see kind of what that does with this. And I am being semi-mindful of the color combo that I'm working with here because I want it to blend. Alcohol ink, you really don't have to worry about things muddying too much. But since I am going to brayer it out a little bit, I do want to be a little bit mindful of that. So I'm using this really pretty Sublime. It's another pearl, and I'm just gonna pop that down in some places too. Just get everything kind of around, and then I'm just gonna take and again smoosh it. Smoosh it on through. Oh, I like that. This is gonna be pretty. All right, loving this. And for this one, I'm just taking this stencil down. This is, I think this is a Dina Wakley stencil. So I'm just gonna let that do its magic. And I'm gonna walk away for a little bit because I want it to stick. I want it to adhere. All right, okay, so I'm gonna walk away for a little bit, probably about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll be back to show you what to do for the lift on this. Oh, these right here, this was Sublime, and it's the alcohol pearl. This also was, I think that this is Sunshine. I can't see without my glasses on, you guys, I'm horrible. This is, I can't say that, but I'll put it down below. And this is Turquoise. Don't tell anybody that I teach English language arts. I actually teach reading and writing for 7th grade in real life, and I don't know how to say some of these words. It's horrible, I know. It's our little secret though. All right, I will be right back. Well, I'll be right back to you. I've let these set up for about 15 minutes now, and I'm just going to remove them. And this one, it's still wet in some spots, and so I'm gonna still let that dry, but I did 2 of these at the same time on purpose, and that was so I could let it dry after if it needed to. And that one pretty much came up fairly dry. Like, I don't think there's much, there's a little bit of wet in some spots, so I'm gonna let it just set up a little bit more. And I'll share with you a couple of the pulls that I did this way. And the reason why I like it drying with the bubble wrap and the stencil on is because it gives a little bit more structure to your design. The texture in the bubble wrap tends to come up. So this is one of the pulls that I did when I was playing with this technique by letting it dry. Because usually I would put the alcohol ink down and wouldn't put anything on it, and then let it dry, slap on a coat of paint, come back and take it up. Or I would put the stencil down, alcohol ink through it, lift it up, which was fun and cool. But I never let it dry with the stencil or the bubble wrap in place. And so that's what I thought was so interesting to me, was just how cool it looked after. So that was one of them. And then I made a card with this technique. I used bubble wrap on this, and then I just took a stencil and I put through the Stickles, and I believe it was this one, which is, gosh, I can't even read it. I'll list it for you down below. And one of the biggest recommendations that I can make when you are trying to create something on such a busy background is to keep your image or your focal point black and white. Otherwise, it just gets too busy and too overwhelming. But this is a really busy background. I have, first of all, I have this laid out on here, right? And then on top of that, I did a stencil with some sparkle. So there's a lot going on. And I decided that I wanted to make the focal point pop and also calm it down. So I just got a digital art piece by his palette, cut it out, and then I pop dotted it on with a black and white little sentiment up here by Art by Marlene, and boom, we're done. And so even though it's busy, it doesn't look so overwhelming. It actually looks really great. So what I want to do from here is I'm just going to use regular copy paper, and I'm going to just take white paint. Nothing really that special for this white paint, just some white paint. And I'm going to just pop it down. And I don't want a really heavy covering of this. Like I want to be able to see through. So I'm just popping that down, and I'm going to take my brayer, and if it picks up some color, I'm okay with that. Sometimes the alcohol ink will mix in with some of the color, and I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to do a covering like so, and then I can even take and brayer it off on this one, which works nicely too, because I'm going to have to do that as well. All right, so I'm just brayering it off here. And that one is actually picking up some of that color because it wasn't quite dry, which is okay. And then I'm just going to pop down my first piece of paper. And you could do this on a 5x7 cardstock. That's what I did for that card, because it's a 5x7 gel press, right? And then before this dries too much, I want to take and put this one over here and let that, and I like to just brayer off on the back of my paper because it cleans it, and then it also allows for it to really adhere nicely, but then I'll rub it through too. So I do both. I'm going to get that on there, and then I'm just going to take and pull this up, and then look at how cool that is. And it has more definition to it because I let that alcohol ink dry with that stencil. And I'm so glad that I saw that Instagram video, because I would have never thought to do that. But it really opened up my eyes to how to do this, and just look how wonderful that background is. It's so neat, and you would have never thought that you used alcohol ink. And I also like using alcohol ink on things that are not glossy paper, because that gets expensive. So gel press and alcohol ink are one of my very favorites. All right, so let's see if this one is ready. And then again, this is that bubble wrap. And so here we go on that one. Look how pretty that one is. Isn't that so cool? So, and look, and you can tell that there's some interesting pattern in there, because I did pop some of those bubbles. But it's just so pretty. And then this is the other one that I did, the sample one, and line paper works great for this too. Isn't that so neat? Okay, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video today. Again, I hope you come back and visit us. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. I will have everything that I use listed. And then also make sure you pop on over to the Gel Press channel on their Instagram account. And then they also have a really good Facebook group. I'm Bets Golden. I'll have my information down below too if you enjoy watching paper crafting with gel press and card making. Head on over to my YouTube channel, check out my stuff, and I would love for you to join my community over there and follow along as well. Until next time, I'm Bets Golden. Happy crafting.